Hi, Jim Gordon back with another small cap interview. We should mention that all our interviews are available at smallcapinterviews.com. Joining us for the first time in a couple of years is the President, CEO, and Director of Nicola Mining. It's Peter Espig who joins us again. Peter, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back.
Good to have you, sir. I talked to you a couple of years ago. I've been following you guys into last year. Let's start with a little update on the company, and then we want to get into some 2023 with you.
Sure. Yeah. No. The company we've from when we last talked, we've hit a lot of milestones. So this was end of 2022. We got our MIAB that allowed us 5 years of exploration. Last time we talked, I mentioned that I wanted to move the company into a position of solid cash flow, which we accomplished last year, and we're very excited about the program that we have this year. And I think, for those viewing this interview, if they would go to the website and have a look at our Craigmont presentation, they'll understand what we're so excited about.
Let's talk about involving Craigmont, but also a very successful exploration program last year.
Yeah, so last year we worked very closely with Nitetsu Mining from Japan. We've got a really incredible geological team. So we've got Will Whitty, who hails from Freeport Newmont, and then we have Kai Lui as well, who has worked on our site, on and off for 3 years, but he's joined us full time, and he's a PhD from Colorado School of Mines.
Sure.
Last year, our strategy was to see if there was a southeastern extension from the historic pit, which we showed it doesn't extend, but it's a thesis, and then it was to start looking at a porphyry system, in which we encountered drill core that had both skarn and porphyry. So it was a very successful program.
I should say, all modesty aside, this is the part where I get to talk about some accomplishments for you personally as well. Last year, you received an award in ESG, Industry Era. Also talks about leadership.
Sure.
Give us a little. Blow your horn here, please. That's a job well done and being recognized for it.
Yeah, I mean, I always find talking about ESG a difficult topic, and the reason is because it should be obvious. I think all managements should embrace environment, social and governance, right?
Sure.
So
you'd think.
So yeah, you would think that. And so, I mean, what we did after 2021, the flooding in Merritt, we worked actively with the community of Merritt and the First Nation communities to help with the reconstruction of Highway 8 and highways in the region. So since we also have now a gravel pit and a rock quarry that supplies the local market, and we continue to work on our social governance. But the fact that I got an award for it, I just think it's an obvious thing that everyone should be doing.
Yeah. When I'm happy for you, but you're right. It's like I'm just doing what I think should be done. But still, congratulations, regardless. And last time we talked too, because people, and this is no criticism of the average person, but people see the highlights, they see the footage, and it was quite horrific. And then people move on to next. Is there any updates you could provide us with Merritt? Because you've seen it. How is the town doing?
Yeah, no, the town is doing fine. I mean, everything is back to normal. I think. What we're seeing more than anything is with the Trans Mountain pipeline winding down that a lot of people have lost jobs, and so the communities recovered, but I would say that the economic outlook is a little bit more strained than it was pre-pandemic even.
Interesting too. Recover from natural disaster, and now you've got an economic one. Let's say
exactly.
Boy, lots to talk about. I wanted to talk about some of your other properties. I know you brought samples, so let's talk about that right now. I'll let you walk our viewer through from the far side to the closest to me, because you've got a variety of different samples from a variety of different properties.
Yeah. So this rock here, this is from the Craigmont site. And one thing that, because I spent years on the buy side in finance, and one of the questions that I always ask is, why does this opportunity exist? And it's hard to imagine that Craigmont, being the highest grade copper mine in the history of North America, adjacent to the largest copper mine in Canada, and yet it was largely unexplored. And so it was in November of 2015 where we consolidated all the ownership. And we started exploring in 2016. And I think our second drill hole, we had 85 meters of 1.1% copper. So we know the copper grades are there. These rocks here, this is from our silver project or silver mine, which is called Treasure Mountain. And as you know, we have a fully permitted mill at the Craigmont site. And the material that was extracted from Treasure Mountain was processed and milled at the Craigmont site. And then this last rock here, this is from Dome Metal Mountain, which is owned by Blue Lagoon. And we recently invested $1 million into their company. You know, we're very fortunate to have cash flow, and we're not always, you know, a lot of the junior mining companies are always looking for the next round and then trying to raise money.
Sure.
We were in a position where we could help, because we have a profit share agreement with them, mining mill and profit share agreement. So we were able to help them. We invested $1 million. We now own just over 7.3% of the company, and we're moving forward. Yeah.
Let's. We're early in 2024, but let's talk about goals and what you'd like to accomplish. So by this time next year, when we're sitting here,
sure.
Hopefully, you can talk about some great things you've done. What are you looking to do for the rest of this year?
Well, you know, the elephant that we have and the most important asset is the Craigmont copper project. And so last year, up until November of 2022, that's when we received the MIAB. We were limited on the drilling exploration. We then applied for the permit, and 2023 will clearly tie into 2024. But last year, what we really wanted to do is we did mapping, extensive mapping, and we did a Z-Temp survey at the end of 2022. And what I'd like to highlight, so if the viewers look at page 11, 12 of our presentation on Craigmont, what you'll see is that there are two significant anomalies. So we have, and there are three known anomalies. So the known anomalies, which is the historic Craigmont mine, then you've got the west embayment zone, and then you also have the Eric zone. Now these were known anomalies, and they've been drilled and they've been mapped, and you can literally go right down to the meter where the outcropping is, where the anomaly is, where we drilled, and where we successfully hit copper.
Right.
What's really exciting is we've got the Kaz and the Marb zone, and it looks like a map here. Like you can see this mineralized, or you know, several bodies going from west to east, and the Kaz and the Marb fall perfectly in that line that lead right towards the historic pit. Right. And they've never been drilled, but the outcropping is within a meter of exactly where we did the mapping. So we're 2024, we will do IP survey to narrow down exactly where we're going to drill. We also have the WP zone, which is a porphyry target. Treasure Mountain, we will be submitting a MIAB, a multi-year exploration permit, and then we expect to have the mill running this year as well.
And will that lead into 2025 as well?
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
Hey, listen, you got the last word here, of course, as our guest. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think Nicola is just such a unique company, and we're almost like a hybrid. So you have your explorers and then you have your producers.
Right.
So we are one of the few mining companies that have cash flow. So we generate cash flow that we can use towards our exploration. But the Craigmont copper project is really a very exciting project that I have to emphasize is also permitted. So we've got, we have 3 permits that are very significant. We've got a permit at our silver project, a permit at our copper project, and our mill is permitted to process material from anywhere in the province of British Columbia. So it protects investors on the downside, but it gives them everything on the upside. And when markets are volatile like they are right now, you want to have the upside, but you don't want to have the downside risk. And that's exactly what Nicola provides.
Great to talk to you again. Boy, time flies. Peter Espig is the President, CEO, and Director of Nicola Mining. We should also mention nicolamining.com. Great website. Go check it out. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
And thank you for watching. I'm Jim Gordon with another Small Cap Interview. See them all, smallcapinterviews.com.